Alright guys, so in this particular video, I'm going to be trying to live trade as well while trying to do a real-time Elliott wave count, okay? And we're going to combine every single lesson into what we've learned so far. Not a summary, but this will be lesson 11 where we're talking about incorporating Elliott wave theory on small time frames because there happens to be volatility right now as well, okay? So what we're going to look for Elliott wave count, okay, is a 5 wave count that's moving up a fairly decent amount, okay? 5 wave counts just go like that, all right? Something like that, and we want to short it, right? We want to short it right there or basically right there. Makes sense so far? That is based off of Elliott wave, and this is really going up right now if you guys have noticed, okay? So that is the requirement to enter a short right now. It's actually just gaining in volume so much right now that it makes absolutely no sense. Whoa, Bitcoin is really spiking up right now extremely well, okay? We're gonna try to do this and just take a look at the level 2 in general and see if people are going to start selling off. 64.50 is going off here. Let's see if we can get an EW count in here somewhere, okay? This is on a very low time frame, a 5-minute time frame right here, as you guys have noticed. People are just buying it at 64.51. Okay, there's no point of shorting it yet because we don't have any of those criterias to enter, right? This is incredibly bullish right now. It has absolutely met our criteria of entering a trade, in my opinion. Okay, it's about 3% only. But because it has gone up so much just in terms compared to Bitcoin, I definitely think that it's going to be time to short it very soon. We take a look at the level 2, right? And people are just starting to sell off a little bit right here. So I'm just going to enter a quick $5,000 position right here. I'm in an Ethereum Classic position as well, right? Ethereum Classic, I'm just letting it ride right now. It's looking pretty good. Ethereum Classic, I'll probably be in much more profit than that eventually, right? So sometimes I play many positions at once, okay? So now we're gonna try to count our Elliott wave structures over here. Most likely the 3rd wave only, okay? This is 1, 2, and this is gonna be a 3 somewhere. And we're also going to be using trend-based fib extensions to try to do it. So we haven't really hit target yet. Target's about 36 cents right now. So guys, when we incorporate Elliott wave, okay, the scalping strategy, we're going to be doing this specifically with RSI as well, okay? We want to wait for the 3rd wave to occur right here, the 3rd wave for Elliott. The 5th wave will always, guys, it will always have a lower high on the RSI. Remember what I just said, okay? A lower high on the RSI. I'm trying to add more to my short right here. It hasn't really filled up yet at all, but that's really okay. I'm going to go to my Ethereum Classic position and see if I can actually just scalp this. You know what? It actually spiked up a lot. Okay, like I'm way down over here if you guys have noticed. I'm in a decent position. That was a 1% gain already. And I'm in a position for 13K. But I plan to get 4 or 5% on here. Okay, guys? So I'm not going to really be too premature on here. So once again, the wave 5 will always have a lower RSI than wave 3 because wave 3 tends to move much higher. So what I plan to do always, okay, is this right here. Like I mentioned in the other videos, but now we reinforce it. I look for a lower high on RSI and then I start laddering in my ranges of right here, okay? In my ranges just right over there. And that is very important for us to do every single time. This is the bread and the butter of all of my strategies that I use. I look for this one specific play, whether it is in this one and then I short it to 382 or I short it on wave 3, okay? Or I short it on wave 3, for example, where we just have this right here because sometimes wave 3 is so high that we can actually do it, right? So I do this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like there. And as soon as I'm able to start counting these waves right here, that is exactly where I will start adding to my short positions, right? Upon the breakout, of the third wave on the fourth wave right here. Fourth wave consolidates. It moves upwards right there. And then I would like to short it right there. And then I also target a 382. Once again, the reason why I target 382 is simply because I'm more consistent shorting 382, okay? So let's go to EOS and see if we can actually get some of these trades in here. So as you guys can see right here, that I'm just gonna remove some of these drawing tools, okay? So let's see if this is actually an impulse wave up, right? This is like a consolidation pattern in my personal opinion, right? In my opinion, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe that's a 5. You never know, but it looks like it's about the highest regions already. I don't think that this is wave 3, right? I don't think it's wave 3 simply because, well, okay, well, it hit 1618. It might be, but the wave 3 is often much higher in RSI, right? So I just don't think it is. So now I'm just gonna wait here very patiently, and I'm gonna say to myself, okay, well, did this one hit even target yet for the 1618, or even no, it didn't really hit it at all yet, okay? So there's still room for it to go. So I'm gonna show you guys in real time how I'm using Elliott Wave as well to be shorting the market, okay? So let's take a look at another coin here and see if there's any other coins that we can actually short. And then when we go long, guys, when we go long on Elliott Wave, we always try to catch these particular ones right here, okay? So this is just reinforcing what we've talked about even more, okay? It's all about reinforcing, positive reinforcement, and making sure that you guys understand that this is not just hearing it one time, hearing it twice, hearing it 3 times. This is about hearing about it so many times over and over and seeing the proof in the pudding and seeing someone actually execute it in front of you guys. So I always like to go long whenever A forms right here on the downtrend, right? When A forms, that is where I go long, where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then wave 5, it must have, okay? Wave 5 on the downtrend for the A, it must have a higher low on the RSI. And then you look back to the previous video as well, it must have that histogram requirement as well, okay? Where if this was the histogram right here, just as an example, okay? I'm just gonna draw it very loosely, where this one has a much lower one. Let's say it's right here. Like this is the 0 line, right? Let's say that's the 0 line, and I'll draw it with green or something like that so you guys can be clear. So this one right here must have a lower one, okay? And then, you know, we're about to do that or something. And then this one here must have a higher one. Make sense? So then we call this a bullishly diverging histogram, right? And then the RSI must be like this, okay? The RSI in wave 3 must be lower. And then the wave 5 RSI must have a higher low for us to find bullish divergence when we count the Elliott Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structures, okay? So we're gonna go over a lot of examples, don't worry guys, in this one here, because it's really important for us to be able to identify structures on the way that it's breaking down. And don't forget guys, if you guys would like support, make sure you guys are signing up for the support group where I'm only taking 1,000 people. That's gonna go from November the 2nd to February the 28th. For 4 months of solid support where I plan to do absolutely nothing whatsoever except for sit here on this computer and answer your guys' questions and have many one-on-ones with you. Hopefully you guys can find time. And then what we're gonna do every 2 weeks is all get together in a big room, and I'm gonna be streaming live, of course, and you guys ask whatever you'd like. We're gonna do that every 2 weeks for 2 hours every 2 weeks, and hopefully you guys will get a lot of your questions out of the way. My goal is to groom a group of baby whales where you guys are eventually gonna do technical analysis for me, so I can just sit somewhere on a beach and listen to your guys' calls. That's the goal. All right, here's a prime one to be probably shorting in my personal opinion, okay? So I see this right here as pretty decent volatility, right? 3-4%. I missed a lot of it already, to be quite honest. So what I do always is I draw my Fibonacci retracement because I see 5 Elliott wave structures here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the fifth structure right there. I say to myself, is it worth shorting this right there for a 0.5% scalp? But realistically, it'll probably get to about this one here because this region is going to act more of a support. In fact, it might even get down to this region over here. So now I'm definitely going to consider shorting it because we're getting much lower. Look guys, we're getting the formula, okay? I missed it by one tick over here, right? So you guys see the 5 Elliott wave structures. So I'm actually going to start shorting this right here. It's going to add like 10,000 at a time on here, okay? Let's see if I can actually get this shorted. Let's go 51 right now. So I'm just kind of slamming the market here, just scaring everybody, but I don't really care in my opinion. Okay. I'm just going to add a lot. If they want to try to push it up, no problem. There you go. I'm adding quite a bit to the market, if you guys can see right there, right? But we also got to go to Bitcoin, and we also have to see what it's doing, right? It's always important. So yes, we got to go to Bitcoin and see the level 2, and also see if it's actually made 5 waves, okay? This is most likely A, B, C, right? And this right here is most likely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 going up there. Because that one's most likely the 5, right? But is it the 5? See the histogram? It's actually way higher. So I don't know if it's actually the 5th wave, right? Because usually the 5th one has a lower RSI and also has a much lower histogram as well. So if these requirements are not met, for example, on some coins, I will not short it. So right now, I would not short Bitcoin because it doesn't meet my personal requirements. But it does meet my requirements for IOTA. Okay, IOTA is a completely different story. So I'm definitely going to be considering it. There's IOTA. Some people are buying it up right here. It's not a big position of mine that I'll be entering. Very small position. I'm going to actually take this order out right here. I only want to enter, I don't think EOS is really going to go up either. So Ethereum Classic, I'm not able to close my position. That's okay. I'm going to ride this guy a little bit higher anyways to about 38 cents. So if I go 38 cents on there, that's about a $450 position. I'm going to close my IOTA one because people are buying right here. And I'm not feeling too confident right now. Okay, I want it to be, maybe a little bit higher, and then let's see what Bitcoin does. I think Bitcoin is actually going to make a small little break to the upside, but we do see this, right, guys? We do see Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, that's not Bitcoin right here. Right here, we do see Bitcoin make the 5 waves going upwards, right? Right here, 1, 2. That's a massive 3. That's a 4. That's a 5. It could also be because. Let's see if we can see it on a different time frame. That's really high RSI, guys, right? Super high. Can we see bearishly diverging RSI anywhere? Yes, we do see bearishly diverging RSI there. It's a lower high, right? Even though it's a higher high there. But the histogram requirement is not actually meeting it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the level 2, okay? And I'm going to see what this is doing. You guys have to combine it. Remember course number 11 here? We're combining it with everything, guys, with price action, with level 2, etc. Okay? So now we're noticing right here, oops, is that there's a 26 count there. There's a 25 count. So it's definitely favoring right now the bears because they are trying to drive down the price right now. So for example, IOTA, that moved, I can't believe I missed this actually. That was a really beautiful one. So as an example, this might actually be an ending 5th wave diagonal that it's going to form, okay? Will it actually form an ending 5th wave? That would be amazing if it actually does, right? No, that's pulling on teeth, or that's grasping on straws right there, right? So like that. So there might even be one more really large push up to like right there on the channel, even to 486 ranges where I'm going to be really willing to ladder. So this is a clear 5 wave structure, but there might be one more sub wave still. Notice for Elliott wave right here. Okay, wave 4 acts as a support, or sorry, wave 1 acts as a support, but it doesn't even get to that particular region, right? So I'm very interested right now in shorting IOTA. So let's give you guys an example as well while we're kind of going back and forth with a lot of these things going on, right? Let's just go with, for example, let's go to random coin like Ripple. Ripple's always a fun coin to be day trading lately, right? All right, let's check this out right here on a lower time frame. So this one here moved down quite a bit, if you guys noticed, 2% there. But let's actually go to maybe a 15-minute chart and look for some volatility to go long, right? That's what you guys want. You want some volatility to go long, and you want to get some clues. For example, when this one dropped, that was a really big drop, right? This one here ended up dropping 7%. So let's evaluate that. That was at the end of last month. Actually, right around here, okay? Right around here. So were you guys able, do you think? Okay, let's say we're using Elliott wave, right? Elliott wave would clearly dictate that there are 5 waves that are coming down here. This one barely retraced upwards. Okay, let's count it together. Let's see if we can actually count this actually. If it's a valid count on a low time frame, okay? Yeah, definitely. It kind of sucks, right? Because it barely retraced, in my opinion, whatsoever. 1, 2. This here is unfortunately the crappiest retracement I've ever seen. But nevertheless, it could be considered it, right? Barely retraced anything, in my personal opinion. And I don't even think that we could be able to count that. But, you know, a lot of people would count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down. A little bit too volatile, in my personal opinion. So here's what I would have done personally, okay? I would have waited for this to form, right? Waited for a low to form there. Waited for a high to form. And simply played on the breakout instead. So we're trying to combine many different theories right now. And if you played on the breakout right there, right? If you took the Fibonacci range of the entire structure when it started to downtrend, right? You could have, and this is right here at the 382 region. If you, for example, targeted a 0.5 region, well, that would have been an easy, what percentage there? Well, about 1.4% of the scalp. But let's look for one that's a little bit more realistic, okay? Let me find one. Okay, let's look at a really good example with Bitcoin right now. Okay, Bitcoin back in the past on a very large time frame, because I know a lot of you guys that are watching this also trade on higher time frames, right? So just as an example, here we see it start to downtrend, right? Always make note of here, of the previous low. And as soon as it breaks down, just automatically, guys, automatically assume it's going to make some sort of A, B, C type of correction, okay? And what we see is that this is most likely A right here, okay? That's most likely A, and that's B right now. Now that we have identified the B structure, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Fibonacci range right here, and we say, okay, that hit 382, okay? And then now we're gonna also make note of this specific section right here. And as soon as it breaks down, that's where we know that it's a C wave basically as well, right? But as soon as we see that, we know. So now we're going to try to break this down as a count. And the way that I'm seeing this just as an example is 1, 2, right? And I actually see this right here as a third count, because I see this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and I see a double bottom for a fifth, right? And as soon as I'm able to see these types of structures, I look for that RSI, guys, right? I go to my histogram, because I'm going to first of all isolate where these regions are, okay? First of all, this is the third peak roughly around here, right? Just kind of right around these areas there. So if I notice that peak and that peak, well, the histogram is actually much smaller. And if I actually look at the RSI as well, even though they are at the same price points roughly, what you'll notice right away is this, okay? What you'll notice is that it's bullishly diverging. So as soon as you're starting to see it bullishly diverge, sorry, I should move that over. With the histogram ticking upwards, that's your signal to enter long, guys, okay? That's your signal to enter long. And what I always do, no matter what, okay? I target 382 first. That's where my first level of profit is. I target 382 target, and we see that it hits it with flying colors, and that right there would have been an easy what percentage gain? I can't click on it right here because This would have been a 28% gain. Whew, that was a huge gain actually. Let's take a look at some more. Let's give you guys another really good example of when to actually go long, all right? So we have to first of all identify a top, right? We identify a top, what I always do with Elliott wave, and then what I do is I look for it where it bounces, right? It bounces right there. And then I look for 5 Elliott wave structures. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I say to myself, all right, that's definitely the first wave that's coming down. This ain't no A, B, C, that simple, right? I'll say it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I see as well that this is the second wave going upwards, right? Second wave going upwards, just like that. I'm sure in a different time frame, we're gonna see a lot of this as well, okay? And then this is clearly the third wave coming down, right? Third wave coming down, it makes a bearish flag. And then it finishes off, if I can zoom in right now to show you guys, it makes the 5 waves coming down. On a lower time frame, it would definitely show it. So how many waves is that coming down, guys, right? Take a look. I remember making a killer on this trade actually when I longed it. I remember that. I also, excuse me there, I burped. I also remember shorting it specifically at that level, okay? Right there at that level. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's wave 2, it's wave 3, that's wave 4, and that's wave 5. And then we see this massive consolidation, right? We see a consolidation, and then we see a really, really extended 5 waves coming down. And the reason why, in my opinion, this was so extended was because we simply got an impulse wave failure coming down, right? Easy to tell that this was an impulse wave failure, okay? But the point is, after we have identified 5, we notice right here very clearly that this is a very similar price point region. And what we are hunting for is completing a 5 wave count, okay? It can be done on any time frame. Wait till you guys get to my 20 live lessons. They will show you very clearly in real time. I'm giving you guys a theory first of all. Always remember that the live trades are the most important places to learn. If you watch someone walk the walk while they're talking the talk, you combine theory with practice and it becomes incredibly handy. But you guys will not understand a lot of those live trades because they're much more detailed than my normal ones that I post. They're not the 2-minute live trades that you guys see me post on Twitter just showing my profit, right? So what you see here, okay, this is so important for you guys to understand. This is the histogram tick there. If you get 3, that's even better. You get a low, that's a higher one, right? And even higher. If you get triple, that's even better, guys, okay? Honestly, that's way better in my opinion. But here, we're gonna isolate the region, right? Basically, right around these regions right here, right? That's where you're noticing it. You're getting a higher histogram tick. You're getting a higher low on the RSI. And now that you have a complete 5 wave count coming in, there's no reason why you should not long that whatsoever, right? So if you were to long it from, for example, this one here, right, that would have been the absolute best choice. But if you look over here, you don't actually see any reason to really long it quite yet, right? I mean, this one, yes, you could have actually, right here, okay? You're getting, it's going up, but you don't see like a gap in the histogram, right? This is going up, so it doesn't really count the same as the histogram coming down. And then also the histogram, there's a gap, and then the histogram going upwards like that, right? Even though you see the bullishly divergent RSI, you could have been trapped in that third wave around 6K and then it moved down to 5,800. But me, as a professional trader, I wouldn't have been stopped out. I would have laddered down because I knew I would have made a mistake and I knew that there would have been one more wave down. So that's how I would have entered that particular position right there. Okay, here's a really good one that we want to be shorting right away, okay? We want to be shorting this guy, definitely, NEO. It's too high in RSI. So I'm going to put 100 NEO, actually 1,000 NEO. Let's go 500 NEO right here, okay? The volatility is actually incredible right here. Let's actually get rid of some of these positions here. Okay, there we go. We got some tradable balance here now. We're gonna hope that someone actually ends up spiking it up just a tiny bit. We might even, there we go, people are actually buying it up already to short. So we're gonna be managing multiple positions while factoring in Elliott wave to give you guys a really solid example of what's going on. So if you guys take a look here, in my opinion, this is making the third wave right here. This is 1, 3, 4, and that is the fifth wave right here. So this is actually a massive uptrend in my personal opinion, where it has gone up literally 7%. So we're gonna get some really nice gains on this one in my opinion. Just from Elliott wave alone, we're gonna short this guy over here, okay? And this is still the same account that I've been using to trade. It's not really the biggest account, but it's definitely going to do to show you guys for the purposes of shorting with Elliott wave. I'm just undercutting everybody here. I don't think it's gonna get higher than that, guys. I really don't think so. Okay. Let's see if this Elliott wave count will allow us to short. It's gonna be pretty cool if we can actually get it in there, right? You know what? I'm gonna take my profit here for Ethereum Classic, okay? I don't remember where it is. Somewhere up there. Okay, I'm just gonna take this profit right here. Okay, there we go. I'm up $95. Okay, for that right there. For EOS, it's actually nothing really big at all. I think I'm gonna just close that particular position here because I didn't really get that big of a position filled in. Okay, let's just close that that EOS position of about $3. It wasn't really that volatile. Take a $3 loss right here. Okay. Now Neo, that's the big one that we want to be looking at. And we also want to keep looking at IOTA. So have you guys noticed, excuse me, I'm just settling into my chair here. So for Neo, I just ended up market executing this, okay? Ended up market executing it because I firmly believe that it's going to downtrend. It just cannot get any higher than that in my personal opinion. I've got a lot more that I can play, which I will absolutely play as well. Market execute this as well, because I don't think anyone's gonna buy. Just look at this right here, okay? So now I'm in a $16,000 Neo position, and the reason why I'm in this short, guys, is so simple. I see this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. And this even right there ended up moving up like 3%. So even if this moved down a tiny 1%, I'd be making a pretty good amount already, right? My Neo position is 255-ish. I'm just going to put my Neo position for a 1% gain down. About 1605, okay? 16.05. It's going to be about $200 gain, and we'll see exactly how this ends up playing out right here. Very difficult for me to think I'm going to lose this trade, to be quite honest, okay? Let's go to a higher time frame and see if we can combine a lot of other tools that will give us a signal. So if you guys look on the RSI, right, look on the RSI very closely, right? This is getting lower. This is also getting lower. It's also getting a lower low and a lower high at the same time, okay? It was right for me to actually take my profit here for ETC because it's definitely downtrending right now. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and see how this is actually faring at this particular level over here. Can't help but think that we are going to go down just based on Elliott wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the fifth wave that I was talking about happening earlier. All right, we're definitely downtrending, right? This guy, that was me dumping quite a bit there. That's me dumping again. And now we find a little bit of a support here at the 7. This guy put 7,000 there at 197, right? It's decent. But can we break it down more on a 5-minute time frame? Let's just take a look for fun, for practice especially as well, right? We say this could easily be just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's a really good chance that this is going to come down right now. IOTA's got a really good chance to come down as well. Excuse me, I'm in a pretty decent short position for IOTA. We're just going to go for a very, very small gain here. We're going to go say 7.3 roughly, okay? Let's just buy this in here, put it in here, get it ready. So this is all Elliott wave trading that I'm trying to give you guys an indication of right here, okay? I'm taking this specific structure and I'm targeting actually not just 382, But actually, you know what? Let's target right around there instead, okay? Because this is now the low, if you guys notice. The low where we find somewhat support here. We're starting to downtrend actually on pretty much every single coin, I believe. I don't think Bitcoin's going to be able to sustain this RSI. Based on RSI alone, Bitcoin just double peaked right here, okay? Bitcoin has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. IOTA has the 5 count as well, right? 1, 2. Let me draw it in here for you guys to see. So this is why I find shorting incredibly easy after we count the 5 waves and then we isolate it to where the 5 waves are actually seen. So there's 5 waves there. NEO is also seen on 5 waves right here. So how can we not think that it's actually going to come down? We just got to be extremely patient now and see how this actually ends up playing outwards, okay? We see it losing some massive strength here. Check this out, okay? We're seeing this lose down, right? It's kind of moving down, lower lows, lower highs. 5-minute chart on NEO is just about to tick down. So once again, guys, we're simply just counting 5, right? Simply getting a 5 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. IOTA is also getting a 5 count, but there might be one more small subwave. So the general strategy is to basically start laddering it on the 5th wave going upwards, right? We don't know where it's exactly going to end, but it's always wise to just keep laddering it up like that. I'm just going to stay in drawing mode here. There we go. It's a lot better. Okay, there we go. So just keep laddering it upwards like that. And then we target around the 382 Fibonacci level, or very much so near a support region. Sorry if I sound a little bit out of breath. I was actually cleaning just now. I actually made this video already, but I somehow lost it and I needed to redo it again. And I'm cleaning because tomorrow the dog comes. So I'm pretty excited to get the dog. That's going to be really cool. Cool, guys. Proof in the friggin' pudding, right? Check that out, how this ended up breaking down already. Broke down already 0.84%, guys. Not bad, right? There you go. I'm actually going to close the position because I want to go to bed and I am extremely exhausted right now. And I think that that's enough for this lesson to give you guys actually live trades right here. Proof in the pudding for Elliott Wave, right? It's because I know that you guys are all curious about how I'm doing it with Elliott Wave. Isn't that amazing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We caught the peak right here. This is a lower histogram tick right there, right? A lower histogram tick, guys. Elliott Wave 5 count cannot break higher on the RSI. There's the highest, there's lower, there's even lower. And we're actually just dying right now in RSI. So I cannot help but think that, hey, we're not going up right now, guys. Simple as that. But IOTA is the one to keep my mind on as well, right? IOTA is not really pushing downwards right now. That's kind of an issue. That's okay though. Let's see if it actually breaks upwards some more. The RSI is not nearly as high. That's the thing, right? On the 15-minute chart, it's hovering like right about here right now, okay? It might break up for one more small subwave, but that's kind of it, in my opinion. So, so guys, when it comes to shorting, right, I like to count 5. I look for the consolidation, right, where the breakout, and then on that, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple as that, right? First high, second low, third high, fourth down, and the 5th one. I look for a series of lower highs on the RSI, right? And I look for a lower high as well on the histogram as well. And that's where I short it. I look for 4% volatility always, okay? And then when I'm longing it, I like to long it only on the position when it hits when A is finished, right? Sometimes I'll long 3, but I long 4, right? When I'm talking about 4, I'm referring to this right here, just as an example, okay? I never long 4. I always maybe long 3. Or sorry, I'm going to say that again, okay? I never long 2. Never. I only long possibly 4 sometimes. But A is where I always want to long because that's always a decent bounce to a dead cat bounce level, right? And then I will most likely short B as well, Okay, I will most likely short B once I've confirmed the trend. And this is my general strategy that you guys will see me use over and over and over again in the 20 trades that you'll see very soon. And to be quite honest, if I was actually still available to like stay awake, because my puppy comes tomorrow, right? Or our puppy rather, actually her puppy, I should say. She gets mad at me when I say our puppy because it's technically her puppy, okay? I would be targeting it all the way down to over here, guys. Right? But because I simply just don't have the energy to stay awake to manage my positions, I always follow my rule, which is very simple, which is do not ever stay in a trade if you cannot manage it, okay? Especially if it's a scalp / day trade position, I make sure that I am very, very, very firm on my rules and I do not break them whatsoever. So I'm going to try my best to close my positions over here and see how the market ends up treating us. And also, guys, we're combining even more things right now, right? We're combining even more things. For example, on Neo right here, where this is clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one makes a leading first wave diagonal. I'm pretty sure that it does make one. This is very difficult to see it, right? Maybe, maybe not. Very difficult to see that because there's not much volatility. So we can only do what we see, right? We can only work with what we see. But we don't see a lower high on RSI here, right? We don't see it. But what we do see is that the histogram is kind of leveling off over here, right? It's kind of leveling off. It's higher. So if you look at the 10-minute chart, it's not really fair to say we should short it. But whenever I see anything hovering above the MACD, kind of like this pattern right here with Elliott wave combos, right? Kind of like that, right? You see like an M shape, okay? Just like kind of an M shape like that of some sort. The second one usually just wants to drop, guys. That's just how it is. It's honestly just how the market works, in my opinion. Now we're just seeing so much pressure to come down right now, okay? Unbelievable amount of pressure to come down. And I would be really surprised if this didn't actually close my position right here. Yeah, so I'm up $200 already today from my IOTA short position earlier. And I'm in another IOTA short position as well right now. Yeah, so I'm entering 2 different short positions. Some people are still selling a pretty good amount here. Let's see if I can actually close this. And why did I also, I longed ETC from a fairly low base price today. All right, guys, I ended up taking profit on it already. There is my Neo position here. Everything just completely downtrended. It downtrended so much. Could have made another 60 bucks on it, actually. It just dropped, guys. Do you guys see the power of Elliott wave? Please tell me you guys are seeing this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, it's always good to learn by example. You see the histogram tick on the 15-minute chart much lower than the previous one. You also see the RSI just getting lower, 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 right? It's bound to come down. So cheers, guys. That was a really easy trade. Now I just wait for my last trade. That's for IOTA to break down out of here. See? It's making this ending 5th wave diagonal of some sort, I'm guessing. I don't know what it is. Or it's making maybe making a 3s. Who knows? But we're just going to wait for it to break down out of here together because we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there, and it's gonna come down in my opinion, and then we're gonna make some decent profit on here. I'm gonna go for a tiny position though, okay? Tiny little scalp because I am just exhausted, and I think this will conclude this particular video. It is just setting up for a nasty drop, guys. Like, we're getting a series of a lower high and a lower low, despite getting higher high on price action and lower and higher low as well. So once again, we're getting lower highs and lower lows on our side, and but we're getting higher highs and higher lows on price action. You guys see this little histogram tick that's coming down right there with the gap in the middle? See how the MACD is hovering up really high there? You guys combine this with the 5 Elliott wave count for IOTA, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How can it not come down? You guys see Bitcoin as well right there, right? We did the 5 count, right? We saw the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. And Bitcoin also ends up moving down. Even though it's only moving 30-40%, guys, It's very easy to make money in the market when Bitcoin moves a very small amount as well. It's just, excuse me, hiccups. It's just how it goes. You guys see IOTA just downtrending now? There we go. I was right. It ended up breaking right out of here. So I'm only going for literally a 0.6% scalp, guys. That's it. 0.6 on like I don't know how big of a position this is. Let's see. I'm in a 12K position. It's not much, okay? It ain't much at all. But do I really care? No, because the point is, guys, I am right, right? You guys saw me do 2 live trades with pure Elliott wave combined with RSI and MACD. It's got to show something, right, guys, that this stuff actually works and it's not voodoo. I mean, that's kind of cool. You have to admit, it is kind of cool that I'm able to do this live in front of you guys. I do take a lot of pride in doing this, guys. Lots of pride. Here, we are pretty much downtrending, in my opinion. This is completely done, guys. Like, we're not gonna, it's not gonna save it. It's done. It made the diagonal. It's coming down. So the biggest thing to take away from using RSI, MACD, Elliott wave is you simply look for a 5 count, okay? Look for a 5 count after a consolidation, right? If it goes down, you see consolidating a little bit. If it breaks down, look for a 5 count on a low time frame. If it's consolidating and breaks up, look for a 5 count that goes upwards and short it on the 5th wave. I don't know. I don't know how many times it's actually failed me. It's kind of surprising how well this actually works, and it's almost like hard to believe that this actually works. You know, because I've done it so many times so successfully that the first time I went on the win streak for like 20 or something days, it was really difficult for me to actually believe that this stuff worked. But after making a ridiculous amount of profit, you know, some months I'm making a whole year's salary of an engineer, right? Some days I'm making a week's salary or something like that. So it's kind of crazy how well this can work sometimes. Look at Neo. You don't even need to look at it, guys. It's just going down right now, man. That's painful to watch, especially when you're right. It's really painful, you know, because you just feel like you have some insider information and you just can't help but think that this is just such a great place to be in crypto right now and a great time to be in it because we can all learn something. So we can finally see it start to downtrend over here. It was taking a very long time and I was extremely patient to try to get this on video for you guys. But I just want to show you guys that I am the man, really. We only have to close another 10,000 until we get to me. The 773 is not really that indicative. The 655 range, 626, it's just getting crapped on right now. It just doesn't have the stability to hold, right? It will come down. I'm so confident it's going to come down right now. I don't really want to be in this trade though. I'm extremely exhausted. I apologize if I sound kind of childish right now. I have to go get the dog at the airport in about 5 hours. I had to remake this video because something happened, and then I have to go shopping for the dog still tomorrow, and I've got a lot of errands to run still. I've got to clean up my place because my special lady's coming over. We're going to spend some time with the dog, so there's a lot to do tomorrow as well. So I'm going to get maybe 2 hours of sleep here tonight, hoping for a little bit more. But you know what, guys? This is going to close. I can assure you it's going to close. So now I am going to actually conclude this video, okay? You guys can just assume that it's going to close. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the incorporating Elliott wave with a live trade as well into the scalping strategy, and especially on a small time frame with RSI, MACD, histogram, price action, and level 2 as well. So thank you very much for joining me for lesson number 11. If you guys are curious about, or if you guys are wanting additional support, make sure you guys are signing up for the $200 package where I'm offering support from November the 2nd to February the 28th, where I plan to do absolutely nothing except for sit in front of this computer so I can answer your guys' questions. So I'll see you guys for lesson number 12, where we'll be doing a quick summary of the strategies and of all lessons, and just lesson number 13, where we're going to talk about adjusting the mentality when the market isn't as expected. So I'll see you guys for lesson number 12. Have yourselves a great day. Bye now.